Right, so we've got a little bit of vocab left for this unit. I'm going to throw it all in here. It's not very much. There's comparing and ordering rational numbers today. And then I'm going to throw in order of operations, even though we're not doing that for a couple of days, just to kind of finish up your packets. Make sure you notice, right? Anything that's a red word in here is definitely on my test. Just saying. Big hint. More than a hint. Some truth. All right, so this is one of those coolest things. I didn't honestly tell you the truth until I started teaching math. I didn't know the name of it. I knew you could do it, though. A lot of folks call it cross multiplication. Means and extremes theorem is what it's called. It's a method for comparing fractions using cross multiplication. And what that looks like. If I have two fractions, 2/3 and 5/9, and I don't know which one's bigger, I can use this trick called the means extremes theorem. It multiplies the means by the extremes. In other words, I take this number, I cross multiply, and I write it over here. So 2 times 9 is 18. Then I take this number on the other bottom, multiply it straight across, or diagonal, write it over here. 3 times 5 is 15. 18 is bigger, therefore 2/3 is bigger. Okay? Means extremes theorem. Thought it was pretty cool. But the big thing to remember here is you start in the bottom left or bottom right, it doesn't matter, and multiply diagonal and write the number over here. Same thing, start in the opposite lower corner, multiply diagonal and write the number on the other side. Then that means 2/3 is bigger than 5/9. Okay, there you go. And all this, by the way, without having to have common denominators. That's the real trick, because otherwise you'd have to go, okay, well, let's see, both these go into 9, right? I can show you that, right? Both these go into 9. This is already 5/9. And 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. So 6/9. Well, see, now you can see it is bigger, so I can prove it to you. But again, my little method here, so much quicker. You can also use it with mixed numbers. You have to make them improper first. So that's the big trick there. And when you use negatives, you just have to think backwards when you do it. Okay, just a quick review of order of operations. Again, we'll do this in a few days, like 5 days or so. We're going to have a quick order of operations review before we do the summatives. So as a reminder, order of operations, the way it looks now, I know you guys are used to PEMDAS, right? And you can still use it if it makes sense to you, but here's the thing. It's kind of streamlined a little bit. First thing you work with is grouping symbols. Then you work with exponents, which we learned about that this unit, right? Then multiplication, division, again, left to right as you come to them. You don't do all the multiplication and then do all the division. That doesn't make any sense because they're technically the same thing. So from left to right as you come to them. After you've wiped all those out, addition and subtraction from left to right as you come to them. Now, this is one of those things where you see those people post things on Facebook, and they're like, oh, and they all argue about the answer. And there's literally one answer. There's no like, oh, you could do it this way or this way. No, they're wrong. There's one exact and only way to do it, and it always works the exact same way. It's people that don't understand this, think that, oh, do all multiplication, then go back and do all the division, stuff like that, where you get the errors. And I always post, well, you're wrong. Here's the right answer. I'm an algebra teacher. Just because I can't help myself. I don't know what it is. As a reminder, grouping symbols is not just parentheses or brackets. Fraction bar, absolute value symbols, they're like magic parentheses, right? You always work from the inside out if you have parentheses or brackets. Work top to bottom, and finally divide if you have a fraction bar. It's that last one that's kind of a kicker for people. So if I had 5 minus 9 over 6 minus 3, what that means is technically it's kind of like, oh, there's like parentheses technically there. You do the 5 minus 9, which is -4, and the 6 minus 3, which is 3, and you can leave it as -4/3, or if I asked for a decimal answer, you would turn around and say, well, 4 divided by 3, and get 1.3 repeating, negative by the way. And so that's how you use fraction bar as a grouping symbol. That's really important. There's like, on one of the quizzes, there's like 3 questions that are almost just like this. So work the top, work the bottom, then divide. That's really all there is to it. Nothing special, nothing weird, nothing fancy.